The fog on HFY 4 was thick and heavy, like wet cement in the air. It crawled between the black jungle trees, wrapping around every leaf and root like a ghost. Nothing made a sound. No birds, no bugs. Even the wind refused to move here. A group of alien soldiers stood quietly near a ridge, their armor shining faint blue under their helmets. These were Virelians, a tall four-eyed reptilian species known for their advanced tech and careful nature. They were not brave warriors. They were thinkers, planners, and right now, every single one of them was shaking. Their mission was simple: scan the jungle for energy traces. Something large was moving here, something alive. But no one expected the reading their scanners picked. "Up, Unit Commander Trell," one soldier whispered through the comms. "Motion detected. 40 meters. Approaching fast." Commander Trell clicked his mandibles. He looked through his visor, but the fog showed nothing. "Steady," he sighed. "Keep your weapons charged. Do not engage unless attacked." The jungle floor trembled slightly, soft, almost like breathing. Suddenly, the scanner screamed. "Life form detected. Warning, Category 7 Venom Class Predator." Every soldier froze. One of them whispered, "Is that a venom beast?" The name was enough to send chills through them. Venom beasts were not natural. They were the result of HFY's long-dead wildlife evolving through pure chaos. Massive, fast, nearly invisible in fog, and most terrifying of all, their bite carried a venom that could melt a body from the inside in seconds. No cure, no hope. Retreat? A young soldier asked, stepping back. Commander Trell hesitated. Then a voice came from behind them. "Why? Is it that scary?" The aliens turned, walking up from the rear, with no armor, no helmet, just a light jacket and fingerless gloves, was Corporal Jace Rowland, the only human on the mission. He was chewing something. "Gum, maybe." "Rowan," Trell said, trying to sound calm. "This is not a time for jokes. We have a Venom class reading. We must fall back and call for air support." Jace didn't stop walking. "Or," he said with a grin, "we could see what the fuss is about." The aliens stared in disbelief. No one spoke. Jace stepped ahead of the group, toward the thickest part of the fog. His boots made soft squelching. Sounds on the jungle floor. "He's going to die," one alien muttered. Another whispered, "Maybe humans don't understand what venom means." But Jace understood. He just didn't care. The fog shifted. A shape began to form, huge, crawling on 6 legs. Its body was black with glowing green lines pulsing across its back. Its head was flat, wide, and its jaw unhinged with rows of needle-like teeth. The venom beast stepped forward and stared directly at the human. Jace stopped. He tilted his head and smiled. "Hey, ugly," he said. The aliens watched from the ridge, frozen. Their weapons were ready, but they knew they were useless. The beast was too fast. Too deadly. Then it lunged. In 1 second, the venom beast leaped at Jace, jaws wide. He didn't move. Its teeth sank deep into his left arm. The fog exploded. Around them, the aliens shouted in terror, "He's dead! The venom, he's gone!" But as the mist cleared, Jace was still standing. The beast let go and stumbled back, growling in confusion. Jace looked at his arm. Blood ran down, but he stayed calm. He raised his head, chuckled softly, and said, "That's it. I've had worse mosquito bites." The venom beast hissed. Then it turned around and ran back into the jungle, not walked. Ran. The aliens couldn't believe what they saw. Commander Trell stepped forward, scanning Jace with every sensor he had. Venom levels, confirmed. Heart rate, stable. Tissue damage, moderate, already healing. "What are you?" Trell asked, eyes wide. Jace looked at him and shrugged. "I'm just human." They set up a small camp that evening. Jace sat by the fire, wrapping his arm with gauze, though he didn't seem to care much. The wound was already closing. Trell sat across from him, still staring. Your body resisted the venom. No species we know can survive that. Guess your database needs an update, Jace replied. But how? The alien commander asked. Venom beast neurotoxin breaks down nerves and blood vessels in seconds. There's no cure. Jace tossed a stick into the fire. You ever get stung by a jellyfish? Trell blinked his 4 eyes. What is jellyfish? Never mind, Jace said. Point is, Earth has things that make your monsters look like puppies. Our bodies learn. We adapt. Pain teaches us. Trell looked uneasy. You learned to survive pain like that? Jace nodded. It's how we evolved. Fire, war, disease. We didn't run from danger. We ate it. You hide in armor. We used to fight with rocks and sticks. That venom was just a reminder. Reminder of what? Jace looked into the fire. That. We're hard to kill. Later that night, as the others slept, Trell wrote a report back to High Command. Mission Log 5.22. 9 Threxel IV Jungle Zone encountered Category 7 Predator, Venom Class. 1 human no armor survived direct bite. Body resisted venom without medical aid. Recommendation: further study of human biology. New threat classification may be required. He paused. Then he added, possible title for report: The Man Who Laughed at Death. In the jungle, the venom beast crouched in its nest. Its body trembled. It didn't understand. It had tasted blood, but that blood had tasted like fire, and now it was afraid. For the first time in its life, the apex predator of Threxel 4 felt like prey. The jungle air was still thick, but the silence had changed. The venom beast had run. The monster that once made squads of soldiers vanish, without a sound, had bitten a human and fled. That alone shook the Varelian squad to their core. Commander. Trell watched from behind the camp's energy shield, still scanning Corporal Jace Rowan with his medical device. No matter how many times he ran the test, the results didn't change. Unbelievable. He whispered. Beside him, Medic Zrix, a smaller Varelian with gray scales and steady hands, blinked in disbelief. We've seen this venom liquefy internal organs in less than 15 seconds, Zrix said. But Rowan's heart rate barely spiked. Look, his white blood cells are multiplying, adapting, healing, Trell added quietly. Jace sat a few meters away, arm wrapped in rough bandages. He leaned against a tree, tossing pebbles into a glowing bug pit. He looked bored. You know I can hear you both, right? He called out. Trell stepped forward. Corporal Rowan, what exactly happened when it bit you? Jace raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? It bit me. It hurt. Then I got over it. Describe the pain, Zrix asked. Jace smirked. Ever been tasered? They both looked confused. Never mind. Let's just say it was sharp, like being stung by fire and punched by a truck. But it faded fast. Zrix tapped his scanner. Faded? The venom should have shut down your nervous system. Jace shrugged. Maybe I've had worse. You ever get bit by a space eel in a vacuum suit? Zrix's mandibles clicked. That's not possible. Exactly, Jace said with a grin. Humans make it possible. Back in the research tent, the Varelians gathered for an emergency holocall with Central Command. 3 high-ranking alien officials appeared in glowing blue light. The lead one, Arch-Scientist Helzer, narrowed his 4 eyes. We've reviewed the footage. Is it true? The human survived a Venom-class attack? Trell nodded. He did. No armor. No anti-venom. The beast fled after 1 bite. The holograms went quiet. This changes everything, Helzer said. Explain, said another. We've spent years building anti-venom programs, training squads to avoid these creatures. But the humans, they walk into death and call it a challenge. What do you suggest? Helzer leaned forward. We need to study the human, deeply, fully. If their biology resists death itself, they may be more than just allies. Later that evening, Zrix approached Jace with a tray of tools. I need to take some samples, blood, tissue, if that's okay. Jace didn't even flinch. Sure, just don't poke anything important. As Zrix collected the samples, he noticed something strange. Your cells are repairing faster than before. It's like the venom made your body stronger. Jace blinked. Wait, stronger? You mean it leveled me up? Leveled what? Never mind, Jace said, smirking again. Let me guess. You've never seen anyone get better from poison. Never, Zrix admitted. Jace leaned in. Well, welcome to Earth biology. We're not built to be safe. We're built to survive. Across the galaxy, in a cold, dark chamber far above the Threxel system, Supreme Strategist Kyrix of the Yegtari Alliance watched the transmission. He was not pleased. Humans again, he growled, tail lashing behind his throne. Always pushing the limits of biology. Always surviving the impossible. An aide stepped forward. Shall we begin research into their weakness? Kyrix's voice turned cold. No, first we observe. Let them think we're not watching. Let them expose everything. He watched the image of Jace Rowan, still smiling even with blood on his bandages. And then, Kyrix hissed, we see if they can laugh when the real war begins. Back on Threxel 4, night fell. The jungle was quiet, but the camp buzzed. With nervous energy, inside the med tent, Jace sat on a table while Zrix projected his test results on a glowing screen. Trell stared at the numbers. None of it made sense. His immune system is mutating. Every hour, it's adapting. The venom didn't just fail, it made him stronger, Zrix nodded. He's producing a new protein, something we've never recorded. It's like the poison taught his body a new trick. Jace chuckled. Told you. We don't die easy. Trell stepped closer. What would happen if more humans were exposed? Jace's smile faded. He looked serious now. I don't know. Some would die. Some would survive. But the ones who lived, they'd be something else. Like you? Zrix asked. Maybe, Jace said. Or worse. The tent fell silent. That night, a storm hit the jungle. Thunder rolled through the trees. But no rain fell. Just noise. Just shaking. Suddenly, the ground quaked. Trell and Zrix ran out of the tent, alarms blaring. Beast returning? Zrix shouted. Jace stood on top of a rock, peering into the fog. Nah, he said calmly. It's not coming for me anymore. From the shadows, glowing green eyes watched. The venom beast circled the camp and walked away. Trell watched it vanish. It remembers, he whispered. It remembers the human. The jungle world of Threxel 4 didn't sleep, but it feared. After the venom beast fled from Corporal Jace Rowan, the alien camp was filled with confusion, worry, and something new. Curiosity. Commander Trell stood in front of a giant holoscreen inside the command tent. It displayed live footage of Jace walking around, fully healed, joking with other soldiers. He should be dead, Trell said quietly. Medic Zrix looked up from his tablet. He's not just alive. He's single quotes S. Better, stronger. The venom didn't hurt him, changed him. Trell turned. Changed him how? Zrix zoomed in on Jace's blood data. His immune system adapted, fast. It rewrote itself while the venom spread. Now his body recognizes the poison like it's nothing more than a cold virus. That's not possible, Trell said. And yet, Zrix replied, here he is, smiling. Elsewhere in the galaxy, far beyond Threxel's foggy jungles, alien leaders gathered in floating crystal chambers. These were the unified science circle, brilliant minds from dozens of species. They replayed the video. A man laughing after being bitten by one of the deadliest creatures known to the galaxy. This footage can't be real, said a seven-eyed alien from the Drakari Order. The venom should have killed him instantly. replied a tall insectoid scientist from Zol Prime. Yet the human still lives, said the YTARI representative. Not only that, he thrives. A chilling silence fell. Then the lead speaker, a being made of living crystal, asked a single question. What if humans evolved to survive pain the way other species evolved to flee it? Back on Threxel 4, Jace sat beside the campfire with a group of Virelian soldiers. They stared at him like he was some kind of god or maybe a ghost. You really didn't feel anything? One of them asked. J as C laughed. Of course I did. It hurt like crazy, but only for a second. Then I got this weird heat rush through my veins. Kinda like drinking too much coffee during a thunderstorm. The aliens didn't understand, but they nodded anyway. Is it true humans enjoy pain? Another asked, eyes wide. Jace blinked. Double quotes no. We don't enjoy it. We just deal with it. Some of us even train in it. You know, boxers, soldiers, mountain climbers, married people. He paused. Okay, maybe not that last one. A few soldiers chuckled nervously. Jace leaned forward. Serious now. Pain doesn't mean stop for us. Sometimes it means start fighting harder. That same night, deep inside a secret Virelian lab orbiting Threxel 4, Commander Trell met with his government's highest-ranking medical authority, Director Malton. Malton was old, scarred, and had spent his life studying bioweapons and battlefield toxins. He was not easy to shock, but even he was shaken. I've seen poisons that wiped out entire moons, Malton said, tapping the holoscreen showing Jace's DNA structure. But this is something else. He zoomed in on a new gene. Cluster, this section here, it's reactive. It changes when exposed to foreign threats. The venom didn't kill him because his cells rewrote the rules. That's not defense, that's evolution. Trell asked, could we recreate this in our species? Malton looked grim. We've tried. Splicing human genes into our own is unstable. Their biology isn't just strong, it's wild. It doesn't follow rules. It thrives in chaos. In a private tent, Zrick showed Jace a new result. Look, he said. This is your white blood cell count from 2 hours after the bite. Now this is the count today. Jace stared. That's double? Zrix nodded. You're not just healing, you're upgrading. Your immune system is learning how to fight faster, smarter, as if your body wants another attack. Jace leaned back, quiet now. So ... I'm becoming a freak? Zrick shook his head. Not a freak. A warning. Across the jungle, something moved again. The venom beast, the same one that bit Jace, returned to its territory. But it was not alone. Another venom beast approached it. Bigger, older, deadlier. The two monsters circled each other in silence. Then, the smaller one, the one that had bitten Jace, backed away. It lay down, submitted. The larger beast roared in victory, but when it sniffed the smaller one, it recoiled, confused, angry. Something in that creature's scent was wrong. Something human, and that scent meant danger. Meanwhile, an encrypted message from the Yetiri reached a dark lab in the shadow systems of the galaxy. There, Project Black Harvest operated without laws or limits. A tall, cloaked figure studied the human DNA sample obtained through espionage. So, it said, voice soft and deadly. The humans are evolving mid-battle. A robot assistant responded. Shall we prepare test subjects? The figure nodded. Double quotes yes, but not to copy the humans. To destroy them before they become the dominant species. Back at the base, Trell stood with Zrix outside the lab tent. Do you think he's the only one like this? Trell asked. Zrix looked at the stars. Double quotes no. I think there are millions like him. Maybe not immune to this venom, but capable of surviving things we can't even imagine. Trell thought for a moment. If one human can survive what kills armies, what happens when they learn how to weaponize that? They won't have Twos, Rick said. Their weapon is already inside them. Inside the med bay. Jace looked at his reflection. His eyes had changed slightly, sharper, brighter, like someone who had seen death, and smiled back. He whispered to himself, "Why don't I die?" The answer came from within, a voice not his own, a whisper of instinct, "Because you were built for more." The morning sun barely broke through the thick jungle canopy on Threxel 4, but inside the alien research base, the light shone bright and cold. The air smelled sterile, and the hum of machines filled the quiet rooms. In one chamber, Jace Rowan sat quietly. His arms still showed faint marks where the venom beast had bitten him, but the wound was nearly gone. Around him, strange machines buzzed and beeped. Alien scientists worked quickly, running tests, scanning his blood, and taking samples. But Jace wasn't alone anymore. A small group of humans had arrived. Some were soldiers like Jace, strong and fierce. Others were younger, even children from Earth's harsh desert colonies. All had the same look, wary but ready. Commander Trell stood beside the lead scientist, Dr. Velrix, watching the humans carefully. "Are you sure this is necessary?" Trell asked. Dr. Velrix nodded without looking up. "We need to understand if this is a unique case or a human trait." The first test began. The youngest human, a boy named Eli, was brought to a tank filled with simulated venom, a chemical that mimicked the beast's deadly bite. The aliens held their breath. Eli's face twisted with pain, but he didn't scream. His body convulsed, but slowly his skin began to heal as if the venom was just a mild irritation. When the test finished, Eli sat up, weak but alive. Jace smiled. "See? I told you. We're not all born to die." The next tests were harsher. Some humans didn't survive. The venom was too much for their bodies. Others, like Eli, pushed through. Their blood showed rapid cell regeneration, and their immune systems adapted faster than any alien had recorded. One soldier, Mara, even laughed after being exposed. The aliens exchanged worried looks. Late that day, Commander Trell met with Dr. Velrix. "This is more than biology," Velrix said. "It's evolution happening in real time. The venom is a trigger. It forces the human body to rewrite its code." Trell rubbed his chin. Could this be weaponized? Velrix's eyes glowed with determination. "If we understand it, yes. We could create soldiers who survive anything." Meanwhile, in the shadows of the galaxy, the Yetter watched with growing fear. Supreme Strategist Kyrix paced in his dark chamber. "They adapt too fast," he growled. "If we don't act soon, humans will be unstoppable." An aide bowed. "Shall we launch an offensive?" Kyrix shook his head. "No, we will wait. Let them evolve more. Then we will strike when they are at their peak. That will break their spirit." Back on Threxel 4, the humans and aliens worked together, but tension grew. The aliens feared humans' power. The humans felt trapped in strange cages of science. Jace looked at the others and said softly, "We didn't come here to be lab rats. We came here to survive." The others nodded, their eyes hardening. That night, the venom beast stirred. They moved through the jungle, restless and confused. One creature growled low, a deep, angry sound. The beasts no longer hunted the humans. Instead, they feared them. Something had changed forever. The night was still on Threxel 4, but deep in the jungle, something moved. Leaves trembled. Trees bent. A shape massive, silent, and deadly stepped out of the mist. Its green veins pulsed like slow lightning. It was the venom beast. The same. One that had once bitten Jace Rowan, but it was different now. Its eyes scanned the land with caution. It walked with hesitation. Its breathing was faster than before. And it was no longer hunting. It was searching. At the edge of the base camp, Jace stood on guard, his rifle slung over his shoulder. Even though he hadn't needed to use it in days, his arm had completely healed. His strength had returned. And yet, something inside him still felt strange. His heart beat harder when he wasn't moving. His vision sharpened at night. Even food tasted different. He was changing. Trouble coming, he muttered. Commander Trull approached. What do you mean? Jace nodded toward the jungle. I don't know how, but I can feel it. The same beast is out there, watching. Inside the control room, alien scanners lit up. Large life form detected, category 7 approaching fast. Dr. Velric stared at the data. Same biosignature as the original venom beast, he said slowly. But something's off. Its heart rate is high. Its venom glands are overactive. It's agitated. Trell turned to Jace. Will you face it again? Jace smiled without humor. I think it came to face me. That night, a team gathered near the jungle edge. Lights were set up. Drones floated overhead. Aliens readied energy weapons. Humans stood ready too, especially those who had survived the venom experiments. Then came the sound. A low, rumbling growl that shook the ground. The venom beast stepped into the clearing, but it didn't charge. It paused, locking eyes with Jace. Silence. Then it took one slow step forward and lowered its head. Everyone froze. Dr. Velric whispered, It's submitting? Jace stepped forward. Why? Then he understood. The beast had tasted something in him, a part of Earth's wild past. And now it knew. Jace was not prey. He was something else. Something deadlier. Predator. Suddenly, the beast flinched. A loud shriek cut through the trees. Another venom beast, larger, faster, and glowing with more venom, leapt from the jungle and attacked. It wasn't afraid. It was challenging. The two monsters clashed in front of the humans and aliens. The first beast, weakened from its bite on Jace, fought defensively. Jace raised his rifle, but paused. No, he said. Let them fight. The bigger beast overpowered the first. It pinned the older one down and prepared to bite. That's when Jace moved. He sprinted across the field, leaped onto a rock and shouted, Hey! Bite me again, I dare you. The bigger beast looked up and charged. It bit down on Jace's side. Everyone screamed, but Jace didn't fall. He didn't even flinch. He looked the beast in the eyes and said, I warned you. A second later, the beast's jaw began to tremble. It roared in pain and backed away. Foam bubbled from its mouth. Its own venom was turning against it. The larger beast collapsed. Dead. Silence fell. Dr. Velric ran to Jace, scanning him again. Incredible, he whispered. You didn't just survive. Your body poisoned the predator. Back, Jace looked at the corpse. Guess I'm the cure now. That night, alien leaders across the galaxy received the report. Human blood has become toxic to certain predator classes. Contact with venom beast caused system collapse in target. Threat level, red. Status, human biological evolution no longer predictable. Recommendation, do not engage directly. Inside a sealed chamber, Supreme Strategist Carex read the report. His claws tapped the table, so they can kill the monsters now. With their bodies, with a laugh. He hissed, then we must become monsters ourselves. In the camp, Eli, the young human boy who had survived the venom tests, asked Jace, Are we safe now? Jace looked into the jungle. Not yet. This was just round one, but he smiled, because now the galaxy was starting to fear the humans, and that was a good start. Word spread fast across the galaxy. A single human, Jace Ruin, had not only survived a venom beast attack, but his blood had killed the second, stronger predator that bit him. Alien leaders panicked. Military councils gathered. Medical labs sent out alerts. No species had ever done this before, but humans weren't just surviving now. They were changing the rules. Inside a council chamber on Delvax Prime, leaders from 5 major alien civilizations sat in silence as a report played. On the screen, subject, Human resistance to Category 7 venom result. Full survival. No loss of mobility. Secondary effect. Reverse toxicity enemy expired within 40 seconds. Conclusion. Human biology now considered unstable and unpredictable. The chamber darkened. A Zalian ambassador, covered in smooth green armor, stood and spoke. We labeled them allies. But now they are a threat to all structure. They don't follow biology, another said. They break it. They are a curse wrapped in flesh. The new name spread across data networks. The human curse. Back on Threxel 4. Jace sat outside his tent, sharpening a knife just to stay busy. His wounds were fully healed, but his mind wasn't. He could feel the change. His reflexes were faster. His hearing had sharpened. And sometimes, when he looked at other creatures, he didn't feel fear anymore. He felt hunger. Not for food, but for danger. For the next challenge. Inside the medical bay, Dr. Velric stared at Jace's blood sample. Something was wrong. His cells aren't just reacting, Velric said to Trell. They're growing. Like they're expecting another threat. Trell leaned in. Explain. He's becoming a living weapon. If something attacks him again, I don't think it'll survive. He's adapting before the next battle begins. Trell's eyes narrowed. Is he even still human? That night, Jace had a strange dream. He was walking through a battlefield. Alien bodies lay broken around him. But he hadn't used a weapon. He looked down at his hands. They were glowing. A voice echoed in the darkness. You are evolution's answer to extinction. He woke up, sweating and smiling. In a secure alien outpost, the Yatari prepared a new operation. Project Hollow Moon. A mission to capture a human and extract their genetic code. Kyrix stood before a group of elite assassins. Do not fight them. Do not test them. Just bring me their blood. He looked into the stars and whispered, we must learn to kill the future before it becomes the present. Back on Threxel 4, the younger survivors like Ely were showing changes too. Faster. Healing. Calmness under pressure. Even faint glowing in their veins after exposure to the jungle fog. The aliens monitored them. All but one thing became clear. It wasn't just JACE. All the exposed humans were transforming, and there was no way to reverse it. Jace met with Trell that evening. I know what you're thinking. Jace said, that we're becoming dangerous? Trell replied. Jace nodded. Double quotes, yeah. And you're right. Trell didn't speak. Then Jace added, serious now. We don't want to be monsters. But sometimes, the galaxy makes monsters out of survivors. Later that night in the jungle, something screamed. A venom beast, but not like before. This one was dying from the inside. Its body twisted and collapsed. Its venom sacs turned black. Its mind unraveled. Nearby, a drop of blood glowed faintly on a broken branch. Human blood. Alien scientists everywhere ran new tests. They discovered something terrifying. Contact with mutated human blood caused system collapse in Category 7 to 8 predators. It spread through scent, spores, and even proximity. Humans were now a passive biothreat. Some species began banning human entry to their planets. Others called for quarantine zones, but it was too late. The human curse had already left the lab. In the command tent, Trell gave one final report to Central. The humans did not choose this. We asked them to survive. Now they survive too well. And they will never be the same. He stared at the screen, then added, they were built for chaos, and chaos is coming. Jace stood at the edge of the jungle, eyes glowing faintly in the moonlight. The beasts no longer roamed here. They knew what he was now. A walking extinction, and he didn't feel guilt. He felt ready. The jungle was quiet now. No roars, no movement. Not even the insects dared to buzz too loudly near the human camp. The venom beasts were gone. They'd learned the truth. The humans weren't prey anymore. They were poison. Inside the alien outpost. On Threxel 4, alarms blared. Unidentified life forms approaching. Commander Trell ran to the edge of the command platform. Floating on the edge of the jungle were three strange craft, slim, black and silent. Not Threxilian. Not friendly. Dr. Velrix checked the readings. No official signal. No alliance mark. Jace stepped up beside them. Then they're here for me. Trell blinked. You know them? Jace nodded slowly. Not by name, but I know the type. Someone always comes when humans evolve. They either want to study us or stop us. The ships landed. 10 figures stepped out, alien commandos. In obsidian armor, no words. No warning. One held a device and pointed it at Jace. It beeped. He was the target. Move. Trell shouted. The aliens opened fire, but not with weapons. Gas, needles, sonic bursts. Non-lethal. They didn't want to kill Jace. They wanted to take him. Jace charged forward, even without a rifle. He moved like a storm, faster than before. Stronger. His body felt light, and his senses were sharp. A dart hit his chest but did nothing. You're too late, he said. I've already changed. He grabbed the attacker and twisted, knocking the alien into the dirt. More came. Jace didn't run. He fought back, from the side. Ely, the boy who survived the venom experiments, watched in awe. Jace moved like lightning. The tranquilizers didn't work. The shock pulses just made him angrier. His blood had become armor. But then, one of the dark armored aliens pulled a strange weapon, silver, curved, glowing red. Jace's instincts flared. This one could kill him, before. The weapon fired. A high-pitched scream came from the jungle. A venom beast, but not to attack. To protect. Leapt into the fight, smashing the assassin with its massive claws. The others panicked. The beast is defending the human. Dr. Velrix watched in shock. It's bonded with him, his blood. It changed the predator. Now it served him. Jace stood beside the beast. Looks like we both evolved, he muttered. The remaining attackers retreated. One final dart flew, hitting Jace in the neck. It hissed. He staggered, but stayed standing. Trell ran to his side. What did they inject you with? Jace's eyes glowed faintly. Something bad. I can feel it trying to kill me. He winced. Let's see if it learns who it's messing with. Inside the lab, Dr. Velrix worked fast. Jace's blood was reacting to the new toxin, mutating again. This shouldn't be possible, he whispered. His body's rewriting itself faster than I can study it. Trell stared at the screen. You said he was a weapon before. What is he now? Velrix looked pale. He's a living antidote to death. Outside, the venom beast circled the camp. It didn't growl. It guarded. Other beasts watched from the trees. They didn't dare approach, not because of Jace's weapons, but because of what he was becoming. In orbit, the attacker's ship fled. But not before sending one final message. Human immunity spreading. Subject cannot be captured. New directive. Destroy before complete transformation. But it was already too late. Jace had bitten back, and now the galaxy would have to live with what it created. Later that night, Jace sat quietly by the fire. Eli sat beside him. Are you okay? Jace smiled faintly. I think I'm becoming something new. Eli asked. Is that scary? Jace looked up at the stars. No, but I think the galaxy should be scared. Years passed, but the galaxy did not forget. It remembered the bite that should have killed the human. The moment he laughed and called it a little tingly. That moment became legend. On cold moons and war-torn colonies, soldiers whispered. The tale of Jace Rowan, the man who turned a predator's venom into a weapon and made death itself run. They called it the Tingle Curse, or simply the human effect. Alien generals feared it. Scouts avoided Earthborn outposts, and children, alien and human alike, told stories of the venom slayer under the stars. But on Threxil 4, Jace was gone, not dead, just changed. He had left the camp long ago, walking alone into the wild where no machine could track him, where even the jungle beasts bowed their heads in silence. Some say he vanished into the planet. Others said he became something more. Commander Trell now ran the outpost. But the base had changed. Humans and aliens now trained together, not just in weapons, but in survival, adaptation, and endurance. They studied the strange mutation that had begun with one bite. Even Eli, once just a boy, was now a young leader. He had the same glow behind his eyes, the same confidence Jace once carried and deep in his veins. The venom still burned, but it obeyed him in the research wing. Dr. Velric stared at a sealed vial. The last blood sample from JACE. It still shimmered, still changed when exposed to stimuli, still unpredictable. He was never a soldier, Velric whispered. He was evolution's messenger. In another system, far from Threxel, a new predator species awakened, worse than the venom beasts. It struck without warning, wiping out colonies in hours. Acid for blood, skin like diamond. Even Tari bioshields failed. The galaxy cried out for help. And that's when the legends came to life. A figure walked into the battle zone. No armor, no weapon. Just a man with glowing eyes and a scar from long ago on his arm. He walked into the acid storm and smiled. Let's see how tingly this one is. He didn't fight with guns. He let the creature strike him first, and when it did, its claws cracked. Its blood boiled. Jace stood calmly, even as the monster howled. His body reacted instantly, burning the poison inside him and feeding it back out. The predator fell, dead before it could understand what it faced. The survivors didn't speak for hours. Then one whispered, "He came back." Another answered, "No, he never left. He just waited for the next fight." Word spread again. The humans weren't cursed. They were the answer to chaos. A force that didn't bend to fear or science, but rose with every threat. Adapted, overcame. Survived. The last known message from Jace Rowan came as a burst signal, picked up by an old listening post on the edge of the void. "Tell the galaxy, if it bites, we bite back harder." Then silence. But the legend didn't fade. Not anymore. Now on hundreds of worlds, statues of Jace stand tall. Beneath them, a single quote is carved: "Pain is just the beginning.